Hi Gemini, here we are again. I actually tried doing your reading about 3 or 4 times already. 3 times. Well, this will be the 3rd time. So the first time I tried doing your reading, I got the cards all laid out. Everything fell out as it was supposed to, and then I wasn't feeling well. So I said, okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to step away from the cards from my desk. And 2 hours later, I was like, you know what? Let's just reshuffle them and let's get new, fresh energy out there. And as I was shuffling the cards, I was thinking a lot about a Gemini ex of mine, who I guess I can call him an ex. We dated about over a year ago, and it was a very intense and powerful connection, and it also really broke my heart. And so I was thinking about him as I was shuffling. Whenever I do the Gemini reading, he comes up. Geminis, I don't really have any in my life at the moment, but when I do have Gemini in my life, there is a very, very close connection. One of my best friends, Yvette, can definitely vouch for that. That when there are Geminis in my life, I feel very, very close to them. Especially being another air sign, being an Aquarius, y'all are like you're my siblings. You're my air sign siblings, so I do feel very close to you all, which also in turn means that you all have the ability to hurt me in ways that a lot of other signs don't have the capacity to do. Maybe another Aquarius, maybe a Cancer, because my moon is in Cancer. So Cancers can hit me in areas where I'm like, ooh, but Geminis have the ability to really sort of get at me in ways that other signs, just can't. And I've also noticed that Aquarians also have that can have that same effect on Geminis as well, where we can sort of, we can punch you and hit you in your pressure points where other people may not be able to get to. So I pulled out cards for the 2nd time, and I noticed, oh, this is pretty much, I'm reading for this person, for this other Gemini that's really no longer in my life, but he's coming up. Here I am in the reading as a Queen of Swords. I'm not doing this. I was like, I'm not doing this. And I didn't even read it off camera. So he comes up a lot, and nine of Pentacles, first energy out, or this energy kept coming out over and over and over again as I was shuffling for you all, this and the Devil. So we'll see what else comes out. But first energy out, 9 of Pentacles. I feel like a lot of you this is a goal that a lot of you have. A lot of you haven't gotten here yet, but it's a goal that you're sort of reaching for at the moment. And that a lot of you feel sort of accomplished with what you've been able to get done recently in the last maybe year or so. But I really kind of wanted to focus on relationships for you all. Okay, here they all come. Yeah, 4 of Pentacles. Well, we'll see actually what comes up. If, Knight of Wands, Ace of Cups, High Priestess. High Priestess kept coming up a lot, so I do feel that a lot of you could be experiencing relationships or connections with people that feel psychic in nature, that feel very intuitive, very, very, very intuitive. There's something new. So there's possibly a new relationship, a new connection, new emotional beginnings with somebody. Let's find out more. But Saturn is going to be leaving Sagittarius in December. Page of Wands. And so there's something that you want to communicate to somebody about how you feel towards them. There's a desire to want to reach out to somebody and tell them how you're feeling. But there's also, I feel that there is this holding back, right? The 4 of Pentacles came up. But let's see what else is coming up, because there's multiple narratives that I'm kind of receiving right now. Saturn is leaving Sagittarius. I'm going to be leaving your 7th house sector in December. So what did you learn? What did you learn while Saturn was in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, right? Yeah, okay. I feel that a lot of you are feeling sort of psychically overwhelmed at the moment. Like there's a lot coming through. You're doing your best to sort of sift through it all. Page of Swords, there you all are. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands, which came up in one of the previous spreads that I did for you all before this one. And like I said before, I feel that this Nine of Pentacles energy is energy that you are trying to it's a goal, it's an end goal that you're trying to get to, and you're doing your best to sort of, like, you're recognizing that in order to get here, you're gonna have to stack. You're gonna have to stack some chips. You're gonna have to stack some money. You're gonna have to save up. You're gonna have to hold on to whatever it is that you have. And normally, I would say that this energy is, you know, it's about not letting things go or being stuck or being stagnant, but I do feel that sometimes we need to be in this energy, right? Like when we're trying to build this, we have to be a little bit, you know, self-preserving in what we spend, what we do, who we hang out with, where we go. And that a lot of you are in financial situations right now where, you know, you're recognizing, I don't have that much and I need to hold on to it. I need to hold on to what I have at the moment. And, you know, if I don't, I'm not gonna make it here. You know, High Priestess coming up. High Priestess, feeling incredibly psychically connected. And like I said, feeling connected to somebody, feeling connected to someone. I want to clarify this High Priestess energy because there's multiple things. It can either be that you're having a psychic connection with somebody else and it feels a bit overwhelming, right? Like it's overwhelming you. Or with the Four of Pentacles sort of in conjunction with this High Priestess, that there's a blockage. There's something that there's a blockage that you're experiencing psychically. That's kind of, there's a creative block happening. There's like a mental psychic block that's happening, and it's getting in the way of you being able to move forward in whatever work you're trying to do. But I want to get clarification for the High Priestess for you all. Why is the High Priestess here? Why is the High Priestess here for Gemini? Gemini's High Priestess. Why is the High Priestess here for Gemini? Okay. Queen of Cups. Is that them or is that somebody else? Somebody else. Okay. So like I said before, there is... And the Queen of Cups also came out for you all previously, very close to the High Priestess. I think either underneath or next to the High Priestess. So we have the Queen of Cups here clarifying the High Priestess. So there is a connection that you have with a water sign. There's definitely a water sign in your midst that I do feel... it's a new, like we have new vibrant energy here, right? We have new stuff going on here, but there's also this Ten of Swords underneath, this High Priestess, where this Queen of Cups is. So I do feel that this does represent a person, and the nature of the relationship that you have with the person is very psychically, it's a psychic connection, it's a spiritual connection, as are all relationships, but it's a very significant spiritual connection that you have with this person. Water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, and you know, she, he, they, whoever they may be, I feel like this is definitely new energy. It's surrounded by we have the Knight of Wands on the other side of it. So I do feel that this is new energy coming in. This is something coming in very quickly. But again, we have the Ten of Swords underneath what's going on here with the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups. So I feel that while it's a psychic connection, and those connections can be very wonderful and beautiful, and I have shared those connections with Geminis before, where it's a very psychic You know, I shared in the Aquarius video that my most committed relationships were with other Aquarians, but my most sort of psychic, intuitive, spiritual connections have been with Geminis. And that's just sort of how I've always gotten down, like how I get down with Geminis and how they get down with me, is that there is a sort of this really, this is from another lifetime. This is from a past life. We know what's happened. Let's get on with it, you know? And so, you know, these connections can feel very overwhelming. Right? These connections can, you know, when we're tuned in and tapped into somebody else's psychic activity or spiritual activity, it can feel like we're being inundated with all of these constant messages, right? These swords can also represent psychic activity coming in, spiritual energy coming in, you know, other people's thoughts coming in, and it overwhelms you. It doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel good. You know, and it can be a bit scary, right? When we enter into these connections and we recognize like, whoa, like I am psychically connected to this person. I am, you know, I'm sharing the same fucking thoughts with this person, you know, and think that I'm crazy, whatever. Like I've experienced that where literally I'll be 3 miles away. And again, this happens with Geminis. I'll be 3 miles away, 5 miles away, however many miles away. I'll think of something or I'll say something like, where the hell did that come from? I'll then talk to my Gemini, you know, lover or friend or person that I'm dating or whoever it is. And they're like, yeah, I said the exact same thing at, you know, around this time. And it's like, yeah, of course you did, because there's a connection here. So I do feel that whatever the situation is, it's coming in fast, and there's a lot of new creative energy, right? Just be mindful that sometimes the Knight of Wands is definitely sexual energy, but the Knight of Wands also, it's like fast energy. So it burns hot and it burns fast. So be mindful of that. Ace of Cups, and there is sort of this desire to want to express how you feel, or there's a desire to want to, you know, there's a desire to want to tell somebody how you feel about them, right? There's new love to communicate. But I feel that there's also this fear that, is the same cycle going to repeat itself? Like, is what I just went through in the last couple of years with Saturn being in my 7th house, is that just going to repeat itself, right? And I get it. I understand, right? I can understand, you know, I understand that, you know. I want to get more information about this Queen of Cups and this Knight of Wands, though, because I do want to confirm whether or not this is another person coming back, right, making their return back towards you, where I feel like you stand here, right? This is you. This is kind of you. This is you right now in physical form of like, I got to hang on to some stuff. I have some work to get done. I need to be in this energy where I'm going to be a bit stingy. I'm going to be a bit, you know, I may not be able to really kick it and do the things that you want me to do, everybody else, right? Like Gemini is notorious for, you know, being the social butterfly, and in doing that, right, making a lot of promises or wanting to commit to doing all, people think Geminis are flaky. People think that they're, you know, flaky as fuck, when the situation really is that they commit to doing so many things for so many people because they're that person, right? They're that person that's like, yeah, sure, I got you, I'll do that. Yeah, sure, I can do this. Yeah, sure, I can do that. And then in the midst of piling up and sort of these different commitments sort of adding on and adding on and adding on, they're like, fuck, I forgot about this person. I forgot this thing over here. I realized that I should have maybe scheduled that for a different time. And so then they appear flaky. And I get it, because my Sun is square my Jupiter, so I take on too much. Out of the goodness of wanting to, like, do things for other people and work really hard and opportunity, but then you realize I've taken on too much, right? And so I feel that a lot of you, you know, are recognizing, I'm going to have to lock it down. I'm going to have to actually be really picky with what I hold on to, what I do, how much I give of myself, because I'm trying to get here. So a lot of you are trying to get to here. I do feel that there are some projects, right, that you all are working on. There's some stuff, there's some creative projects in the works, definitely. Whether that's writing or whether that's, you know, art, or whether that's, you know, starting a new business, or there's some new stuff that's happening around you. But I feel that there's also this fear, right, around, you know, cycles repeating. And, you know, on the bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands. So I feel that a lot of you have just been through like a lot, especially romantically, because you've had Saturn there, right? And I've also witnessed, I mean, I was dating a Gemini during this transit. I've witnessed friends who are Geminis, close friends of mine who are Geminis, dating other people, and they're like, why the fuck isn't this shit working out? Like, what's going on? I do want to find out more about this Queen of Cups, though. Who is this Queen of Cups? Who's this Queen of Cups for Gemini? Who is this Queen of Cups for Gemini? Okay. Didn't want to come out all the way. Sometimes they pop up and then they go back in the deck. Alright. Okay, so we have Seven of Swords here. So either you or this person is not being entirely honest. Well, also I feel that because this connection being represented by the High Priestess is in and of itself a psychic one. Let me readjust this. Sorry if you can never see the cards properly in my readings. I have a tiny computer. So the High Priestess signifying your connection between you and this King of Cups, you and this Queen of Cups, right? This feminine, watery energy, this energy that's very emotional, very emotionally attached, right? And, you know, I feel like a lot of different things are coming up. So number one, attachment not really being something that a lot of you, it's something that you all want, but are also like, I don't know if this is something that I can really fully commit to, right? Like, so I do feel that attachment, right? The fear of recognizing that this person is is a water sign, right? And that, you know, there are some expectations there that you need to show up emotionally in this connection. You have to show up in this connection in an emotional way, which can be hard for Geminis because a lot of you tend to process your feelings mentally, right? Like you tend to prioritize the mind over what the heart is doing, because sometimes it's like you feel like you can't trust what's happening with you emotionally. But if you were to go with that things would just be out of control. And I think you'd actually be okay. I think you'd be fine. But, you know, we have the Seven of Swords here. So I do feel that either you or this other person is not being honest. I feel like it might be you that's sort of running from the connection. That's not really, like, I think you have other priorities. I think your goal is to be here. There's no other person standing with this woman. She's by herself. So I feel that a lot of you, in the face of recognizing this connection, recognizing this person here, are feeling like, well, but sorry, I stutter a little bit. This is my goal. This is my goal here. Like, this is what I want. I don't know if I really am ready. And I also, on all the cards that I see you kind of standing alone. I see you communicating alone. I see you kind of being restored to your old Gemini self alone. I see you pursuing creative activities alone. Even at the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. Like, I see a lot of Geminis recognizing and feeling something for another person, but also recognizing, like, but I have things to do. I have responsibilities that I'm trying to handle. I'm trying to create something for myself. And maybe, you know, getting into something with this person is not the greatest thing right now. Yes, it feels new and it feels great. And I want to communicate to this person how I feel. And this love, whatever this person is actually inspiring me. This person is actually kind of serving as my muse right now. But I need to step away. Or there's this urgency, this sense of like, I need to sort of do my own thing and be off sort of by myself. But you need to communicate that to this person. You can't just sort of disappear on them. You can't disappear on this person. That's not cool. You know, I want to clarify this Ten of Swords. Can I get clarification for this Ten of Swords? I just keep looking at it like, okay, yeah, that's heavy energy. Clarification for the Ten of Swords, please. Yeah, there's a fear. There's a fear about something from your past. There is a fear, there's like this sense that like, Ten of Swords, like this is what drains me. This is what drained me last time. Was it an Aquarius? Right? Are you still feeling whatever you went through with an Aquarius, right? Like, are you still sort of recognizing like that drained me, right? There's now become an association with like relationships are draining me. Relationships are this, I engage in these really nasty cycles when it comes to my relationships, right? So yeah, here's Saturn, right? Here's Saturn, that Ten of Swords energy, throwing you lessons, right? And I always explain Saturn as like, Saturn will give you your lessons, and if you choose to not learn them, like you can do whatever you want to do with your lessons, but they're always going to boomerang back around to you, and it's going to become increasingly harder to learn. It's going to become increasingly harder to learn a lesson the more you sort of put it off. And the more you put it off, the more and more it's going to feel like this. So in reality, while it may feel like this, it's also up to you to sort of ask yourself, well, am I refusing to learn a part of the lesson? Am I refusing to recognize my part in the cycle? Am I refusing to learn how I've actually put these own swords in my own back? And I want to blame this. I want to blame the relationship dynamic. I want to blame a relationship. I want to blame people trying to force me into a relationship. I want to blame all of, I want to blame this thing right here. But it's really not this thing. It's how you show up in that thing. It's how you show up. And I feel like a lot of what I'm saying is going to apply a lot more to Gemini men this month. I don't know why that is. I feel like a lot of Gemini women have been experiencing the opposite, where it's like, I'm here, like, what's up? You know, don't fuck with me. But it can apply to anybody really, but I'm definitely feeling heavy male energy in this. And this could also be like my own personal connection to Gemini men, right? Let's click clarify. And then we have the Page of Swords here, and I feel like this is you here wanting to return, a desire to kind of want to return to this innocence, right? That once Saturn sort of gets involved, and once Saturn sort of asks you to mature, and once Saturn asks you to grow up and to learn some hard lessons and to go through some hardships and to see some difficulties, that it can be hard, it can be difficult for you to then revert back to this energy of innocence, this energy of what happened before Saturn hit, right? What happened before, your Saturn return, if you're in your Saturn return right now, like what happened before all of that, right? Like that playfulness, that childlike sort of innocence that Geminis do have, that I think I've talked about before. in one of the previous videos, but, you know, like that innocence feels kind of tainted now, right? That it feels like Saturn has come in and has opened your eyes to a few things. Saturn has opened your eyes to the ugliness, right? Has opened your eyes to the ugliness of what this can be, how it can hurt you, how it can kind of rock your world and other people's worlds as well. And so now when we are faced with a new connection, now when we have this Queen of Cups coming through, this Cups energy coming through, male, female, them, they, their, who, you know, however they may identify, this person's coming through now. But there's like this desire to kind of like want to run from it. Can I get clarification for the Knight of Wands? Because then the Knight of Wands is sitting there kind of approaching it. Like, what's up? Like, can I get clarification for the Knight of Wands? King of Pentacles. Another person. Or this could be your energy. Can I get clarification for the Page of Swords? Queen of Swords. This is interesting. Now it's getting interesting. There's a lot of people here, but I don't really see it as a lot of people. I see it as you showing up in many different forms. That's what I feel like is happening, is that it's you showing up as this, as this, as this, as this, as this, as this, as this. And then we do have this Queen of Cups here, which I feel like is a totally different energy. This energy that you're not really wanting to engage in because there's a connection there that's really overwhelming you. That I feel is reminding you about, you know, it's sort of dragging you. You feel like you're without your permission, you're sort of being dragged into this. And you're not liking it very much. And now up here we have the Knight of Wands, clarified by the King of Pentacles. So yeah, I feel like a lot of you, like what you're focused on, what you're passionate towards, what you're trying to move towards is again this Pentacles energy. This energy of being self-sufficient, this energy of creating something for yourself, this energy of being, you know, financially stable. I feel like that's where a lot of your energy is going towards right now. A lot of your creative energy, you know, is being channeled into, you know, creating, you know, your business or creating financial wealth or stability or a creative project that you hope is going to bring you in money. But I think that's what a lot of you are focused on right now. Like, you're not moving towards, like, the Knight of Wands, yes, it's next to the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, but it's almost like the Knight of Wands is trying to surpass all of this and get right to here. Just wants to get to the Nine of Pentacles. Just wants to be chill and doesn't want to be fucked with for a little bit. I get it. I totally get it. Y'all just don't want to be messed with for a time being. And yes, there are new opportunities that could be on their way, potentially with a fire sign, right? We have the Page of Wands next to the Queen, next to the Ace of Cups here. So, you know, while you have this Queen of Cups energy here, I don't feel like a lot of you are really trying to engage in it. And this person, I feel like, is actually really trying to, you know, force their way through. And you're not really having it. You're not feeling it. And you're like, relationships have caused me nothing but fucking stress and pain and suffering. And you've now, suffering and relationships have now become synonymous for you. And so that's another thing that we have to work through, right? How do we get through, how do we now return to this Page of Swords energy where, you know, where you can release, right, this association of pain and suffering with romantic, intimate relationships. So there could be something new potentially coming in, like there's a message that's to be, like there's a message to be received from possibly a fire sign, from the same water sign, where this person expresses interest in you. I feel like that's going to play out through the month, and that next month it'll maybe come more to fruition, whatever messages come through for you. And now we have this Page of Swords kind of clarified by this Queen of Swords. So yeah, definitely a maturation is occurring for you all. There's growth. Like y'all are growing from this Page of Swords and developing and are moving to this Queen of Swords energy, right? And the Queen of Swords, still not the King of Swords. The King of Swords, being an Aquarius and having that energy within me, myself, can be incredibly harsh, can be cold. And sometimes I'll say things or do things as an Aquarius and I'm like, damn, Salma, that was fucking cold. Like, that was not, like, did you have to go there? Yeah, sometimes I do have to go there, but I try not to, right? I try to stick more towards my rising, my rising sign in those situations, my Sagittarius rising. But I do see that a lot of you are sort of evolving and growing from the Page and growing and developing into the Queen. And the Queen, you know, still has the curiosity, the knowledge, the wisdom that the Page of Swords has, right? The Queen can now take the information that the Page has sort of, you know, collected and gathered, and can sift through what information is necessary and what information is not. What information do we need and what information do we not need? Like, how can we be, you know, diplomatic about what we keep and what we don't keep, right? So the Page of Swords just kind of collects things arbitrarily. Collects information, knowledge arbitrarily and keeps it, stores it, stacks it. The Queen says, that's all nice. That's nice, but, you know, do we need all that, right? Like Virgo, Libra kind of energy of like, what's necessary? Very Libra. Like, what's going to serve us, what's not going to serve us? What's ugly and what's pretty? Let's keep what's pretty and let's throw out what's ugly, right? So I feel that a lot of you have grown and developed into this Queen energy where you're now thinking a little bit more maturely about relationships. There's a little bit more maturity regarding how you think about, right? We're still in this energy of like, ugh, relationships. I'm not like, I just want to chill for a minute. But in that, I think there's also this realization that, well, then maybe I shouldn't. Well, then if I don't want to be in a relationship, let me not play with people's feelings or tell this person one thing but really mean another, right? Like, let me be very clear cut about what it is that I'm trying to do instead of kind of going back and forth, which sometimes y'all can do because you're the twins. So there's a dual nature existing within you. One twin wants one thing, the other twin wants the other. And it's sort of like being able to, like, you know, look at yourself and say, okay, like, twin A, shut up, or twin B, shut up. I'm going to, this is what I want right now. I don't want, you know, I don't want for things to get messy. So I'm going to stick to what I want or stick to what I need. And I'm not really going to let things get messy at the moment. You're very focused. I feel like you're very focused on sort of creating, right, and holding on to the development of financial abundance in your life, whether that's through career or, you know, your own career, a job that you have where you work for somebody else, or, you know, there are some projects that you have that you're really focused on. So let's get an outcome card for Gemini for the month of October 2017. Outcome for Gemini. Okay. The Empress. Yeah. So, on the bottom of the deck, 10 of Pentacles. So things come to fruition for you all. Awesome. Good. That's one air sign that's is gonna have an okay month. So the Empress. This could represent a Taurus, you know, coming in. A Taurus, definitely, yeah, I definitely read it as a Taurus, coming in, a new new Taurus energy. But I'm really actually reading this as you all sort of growing and developing and feeling an abundance of all that you, like, you're able to sort of accomplish and grow whatever it is that you're trying to grow, you know? And I heard somebody say that the Empress is ruled by Venus. And I once heard somebody say that when a Gemini is sort of vibrating in their highest self, a Gemini in the highest form, in the highest degree, is actually ruled by Venus, the lovers, because you are the lovers card, right? You are the twins, the ultimate blending of energies, the ultimate synergizing of two, you know, the masculine, the feminine energy, the twin A, the twin B energy, the ultimate synergizing of those energies and the blending of it. And that's what Venus is all about, right? Venus is all about the blending of energies, the beauty of things, harmonization. So I do feel that a lot of you continue to even grow past this Queen of Swords energy and really tap into your Venus, that lover's energy, right? Where you recognize that, like, oh, and I said this for Aquarius too, like, in order for you to harmonize with another person without these swords around, you've got to be able to harmonize with yourself to where you're not so conflicted within the duality of your dual nature being a Gemini. So I see really beautiful things for you all, Gemini. The Empress is the outcome for the month. So whatever seeds you want to plant them now. Plant them now. Right? Harvest them now. Think of the Seven of Pentacles. Just plant them now and watch them grow, because everything will grow. And I do feel that this card also for me is like end of the month going into December as well. The fruits of your labor are going to really start to shine through. So that's your reading, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed it. If it didn't apply to you, there are a bunch of other readings on YouTube that you can check out for Gemini. And if you would like a personal reading, all of my info, my links, email address, website address is all in the description box below. And I hope you all have a good month, and I will see you in November.